This is a lot of mirrors. Hi, Zizaran here with another... Wait a minute. Eyes up here. Zizaran here with another video, and today we're going to talk about altars and demigods, and this is a bit of a flex video. I finally finished my collection of all the things that I want yesterday, all thanks to chat. So that's what this video is going to be about. If you don't know what altars or demigods are, like normal unique items, like for example an alpha howl, but they have an alternative art that you could only get by participating in races. Races was a thing Path of Exile would regularly do once per league, so there has been quite a lot, season 1 all the way up to Medallion. However, they haven't been doing this for a long time now. As you can see here, you're getting things like Stormcloud, Fairgrave's Tricorn, Divination Distillate, and in this season, I actually got to this point pretty early, and I really wanted the Divination Distillate because this was like 2 or 3 exalts back then. However, a Queen's Decree, that was just a sword nobody ever used. However, right now, Queen's Decree is listed at 70 mirrors. So I probably should have gotten those additional 200 points because it is a really cool looking sword. And that is all that these are good for. They are just cool looking and people will use them to skin transfer. Now, currently you can only skin transfer in the same league. So if you pulled this out on standard, if you pulled it out on hardcore, you could only skin transfer it to an item on that league. Now, Chris Wilson and GGD have talked about it in the future that they would like to do like cross league skin transfers, but that's something they've been talking about for 3 to 4 years, and we don't know if this is ever going to happen. So let's look a little bit about the items I have and the story behind them. So this is one of the most sought after altars in the entire game. This is an alpha howl, and obviously it has an alternate art, so it looks really different. It looks very, very cool. And an alpha's howl is insanely expensive. The cheapest one is listed at 80 mirrors, and it's very, very hard to even find somebody to sell them because obviously a large amount of the people that played back then, they no longer play. They've quit. Some of the accounts have gotten banned. Some people have destroyed them for memes. So there's an insane scarcity, right? There's just not many of these items left in the game. Now, I bought this for 1,100 exalts, 5 mirrors back then. So I got it very, very cheap. I had previously attempted to buy one for 800 exalts, and I actually did a middleman trade for somebody buying it for that. So these have been steadily increasing in price over the years. Again, just due to the scarcity. This here I'm using a Demigod's Immortality, which is just a helmet from a fairly recent race, and I'm using this because it makes you bigger, and you know, bigger is always better. And this has been skin transferred with an alt art alpha howl, so that's why it looks that way. And you could just like shift click to remove that. However, I would love an option from Gear Games where I could destroy my altered alpha hull and turn it into a permanent MTX that I could use on any league. This Cloak of Flame skin was actually the first one that I ever bought, and it was the one I really, really saved up for. I like purposefully started saving and trying to get money on standard just to buy this because I thought it was so cool looking. It wasn't the most expensive one. Even back then, alpha hull was a lot more expensive and more prestigious, but for me, I was like, wow, this just looks so incredibly cool. This is the item I want, and this one I bought for 390 exalts. And today, the cheapest Cloak of Flame that you're able to buy is 37 mirrors. Now, also, a lot of the pricing on these is a little bit off as well, because believe it or not, people do actually price fix on these. So it's a little bit hard to tell who's actually selling. So for the next items, both Demigod's Bounty and Demigod's Eye was actually given to me as a gift by the first person I ever met in Path of Exile outside of my existing friend group. And it was a racer called Garotha. And I remember it was one of the first people I traded in the game. And he said the magic line, if you have any questions about the game, just ask me. And I did repeatedly. I would just spam him for questions every day. I didn't know that he turned out to be one of the best racers the game has ever seen. And yeah, just one day he gave me both of these because he had so many of them. So I've kept them ever since, and they're really cool because they also make your character bigger. The other Demigods I actually bought yesterday for 1 mirror on standard. So I sold a Legacy Vinctar. So that means that it still had the life and mana leech from Flask Effect is instant. So that sold for 4 mirrors. The Blood Dance was given to me by an old friend that used to be in my community called Cali Park. He had like 5 or 6, so he was like, you know what, you seem to be collecting alt arts, you can have this. And the Malagaris Virtuosity, I think I bought these for 30 exalts a long time ago. The Lightsaber Prismatic Eclipse I bought for 80 exalts a long time ago. And both the Demigods Authority, the one on the left, I won in the Mayhem Hardcore Soul Self-Found, and the one on the right I bought yesterday for 2 mirrors, just so I could get even bigger. Rumi's Concoction, I think this was 200 exalts. Again, it just looks like slightly different than a normal Rumi's. It is also Legacy, like it is slightly better than a normal one. It's 38 block and 16 spell block. The Taste of Hate is my second favorite alt art. I think it just looks incredibly cool. It's just such a cool flask in my opinion. And I first attempted to buy one for 400 exalts, and chat started spamming and saying, don't sell to Zizaran, LOL. And the guy actually listened. He's never logged on since. It's still there. So he still has it. A week later, I was able to buy one for 660 exalts. This also seems to be an incredibly rare item as well. There are very few even listed. There are 2 listed. I think this was the first guy I tried to buy it off, and then Broccolini has another one. They are unpriced, and I just don't think anyone is actually selling one. So you're not even able to get these anymore. I don't know why they're valued less, because I don't know. To me, they're like so cool. Both these 2 are just like the coolest looking, in my opinion. And then next up we have Lavinia's Spirit and Lavinia's Spirit. Both of these I won myself, I believe. Maybe I bought one of them, but I'm pretty sure I won both of them myself. And that leads us to Demigod's Presence or chat's presence. So yesterday people were asking, after my Summon Raging Spirit character died, if I could show off my alt arts and stuff like that on standard. And people asked, is there any alt arts you still want to buy? And I was like, well, no, not really. The only thing I still want is Demigod's Presence, and I can't afford to buy that. It's just undoable because the price is 46 mirrors. And people started saying, I'll give you currency on standard. I don't fucking care. We're not playing. And then I was like, should I do this? Is this a good idea? What do you guys think? Like, it's standard. And everybody in chat was like, yeah, literally nobody gives a shit about standard currency. At least the people in my community didn't. So everybody literally pooled all their currency. It took 5 hours of trading. People were donating like insanely mirror tier sets, and we were selling those for like mirrors. People just straight up gave me mirrors, and just we raised 46 mirrors in like 5 or 6 hours of trading. There's no way I'd be able to like get this myself. So I'm gonna call it Chat's Amulet, because yeah, again, huge thank you to everybody that participated. That's the last thing I needed, and there was no way of me getting that myself. Like the standard economy, it's so inflated, it would be impossible. So again, I can't thank you guys enough. That was the last thing I needed. If you're wondering why the amulet's so expensive, it's because it makes you 20% bigger, and bigger is better. And again, if you're not familiar with Path of Exile, this is a purely cosmetic thing. And here we have a couple of other alt arts that I've either earned myself or bought. 1,000 Ribbons, I bought that. Actually, a lot of the ones I've earned are still in remove only tabs. We can look at that later. Heat Shiver as well. We have a Life Sprig here, a Storm Cloud. This is like a very cool looking one. I don't think a Storm Cloud is worth an insane amount, but it is very cool looking. I think it's one of the prettiest alt arts, and the cheapest online is actually 800 exalts, so relatively cheap compared to a lot of the other ones. It's actually less than a mirror. I have 2 of these. I have one on hardcore, one on standard. Aram Borax as well, pretty cool. Joffrey's Baptism, it's very whatever. Bino's Kitchen Knife, this one is very cool, and it's actually pretty expensive. This one is 5 mirrors for the cheapest one. I actually bought it for 20 exalts. Because I decided to buy this one very early, or I think it was 20. It was very cheap anyway. Obviously the price didn't used to be very expensive. A lot of people in chat were saying yesterday they were now regretting not buying things like Demigod's Eyes and Demigod's Presence for 3 or 5 exalts that they used to be. And we have 3 dragons and Ignomon. I have Chayula. I actually think this one's very cool. Tear of Purity that I took out from my race reward yesterday and tried to corrupt because there is a alternate art, Tear of Purity. And just because of this video, I'm actually going to take out one of my rewards and try to vol this to get the alt art one. Because there is a different. There is actually an alt art one as well. So probably pretty low chance, but just for the video. Okay, we didn't get it, but it didn't break. So I still don't have the alt art Tear of Purity. I think I don't have more of these, but at least we tried. We tried with a few. And other than that, we have Demigod's Touch. We have Wanderlust, Brandis Blazon, Amethyst Ring, and Ruby Ring. And these boots are just here because this is something I got offered almost a mirror for. It was like 10x less than a mirror. It was like 24x. I got offered for these, and a mirror was like 32 or something like that. And I tried to haggle for more, and they never sold. So because of these boots, I learned to always sell when you get a good offer. And don't be afraid of losing a little bit of value. Sometimes you might lose it all. And obviously this was a very, very long time ago when we had virtually no crafting, no proper crafting bench. And yeah, items were very, very different. Obviously they wouldn't even be considered a good item anymore. But it was 8 years ago. Now we are on Hardcore League, and here I have another tab. This is like items I thought were special and cool. I yesterday had the Legacy of Inktar here, but I sold that to be able to buy a hoop. I do have some alt arts here, as you can see. I have a Demigod's Triumph. I have a Series Acuity. These are Legacy. I have a Goldworm, Elagaris Virtuosity, Pillar of the Cage God, another Stormcloud, Mind Spiral. This is the first Headhunter I ever got. We have a Moonstone Ring that I won myself, Combs Sign, Gifts from Above. All these I won myself. This one as well. Should have divined it better. This was a Val Regalia that I actually identified in a 82 core map, so must have dropped off a rare. But this is triple tier 1 prefixes, and I wasn't actually sure of it. There is a video of this where I'm like divining it on YouTube, and I wasn't sure if it was tier 1 or tier 2. Back then we didn't have the we couldn't see the brackets when holding ult, so very, very cool that I actually dropped this. Altered Black Gleam. This is a Legacy Reach of the Council, which I actually corrupted. I don't really know why, but you know, bad decisions. Just High Val Regalia from Synthesis, some more Legacy things, and of course I have a Legacy Facebreaker with only 40 more than max. Just a old Lore Weave. I don't remember, did this even get changed? Maybe it's 77 now is max. Some more high quantity Sedemus Touch. They go up to 24. I don't know if they're worth anything. This is just a Chevron's wrappings and a combs that are shaper. I thought it was very cool. Other than that, another special item is obviously Torment Ren. This is the famous axe, which was, you know, one of the undisputed best axe in the game. I got offered, I think the highest I got offered for this was either 22 or 28 mirrors. Obviously, I have no interest in selling that. It's just very, very cool. And I have a Soul Taker skin on it as well. And I do have a shit ton of race rewards that are still in remove only tabs. A lot of them are like rank 1 for the Demigod's Dominance. So I have these are like alt art Demigod's Dominance. These are the normal ones. Other than that, there are like various rewards. We have a lot of these. A lot of them are for either like rank 1 or in like larger races top 10. Most of them are rank 1. This is like 20 overall. This is a Victorious Acuity that looks pretty cool. Vol's Devotion, Namahu Tiki. They were very common back then. Don't think they're worth much. The Demigod's Dominances are actually 80 exalts each. Natural Hierarchy actually looks pretty cool. This is my pretty much the altar I'm the most proud of, because this was the first one I earned when I became a streamer. And this was actually earned on this character or by this character. So it was rank 11 overall in the Hardcore Flashback event. And this is where I died to the Village Ruin boss. It's the first clip in the RIP playlist where I'm playing with Angry Weasel, a Danish friend of mine. And yeah, this is what that character got by dying at level 98, rank 2 on the ladder. Winter Horror, Asphyxia's Wrath, some cool sapphire rings. So there is a bunch of rewards here still that I haven't taken out. Obviously, they are going to be just more and more valuable over time. I actually sold one yesterday on Hardcore for only 20x because I can take them out on Hardcore Trade League. And yeah, I wanted one. So that is pretty cool. These are some non-alt art Demigods Beacons, Crest of Brander's Eclipse Staff. And I think that is Oh, there's that as well. The princess. I think that is starting to be pretty much it as far as rewards go. I really do wish Chronicler Games would bring back race seasons. They were a lot of fun, and it's obviously perfect for like the last month of the league when things are dying down. People are pretty bored, and it gets people amped for a new league. So I hope you guys enjoyed this flexing video. I'm very, very happy that I was able to complete my collection. And again, thank you so much to everybody that participated. Really, really appreciate it. Would not have been able to do it without you. Hope you guys are enjoying all the YouTube content and stuff that we're putting out. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you liked the video. But more importantly, try to die less than I do.